that they're behind, that they're not going to do this program right, that there's a wrong way to do this program, that they'll not succeed. And notice how often we've had that thought when it comes to looking at this compulsive process that all human beings experience in some way or the other. I know they might not find compulsion to be like a full-on physically manifested experience, ingesting drugs, taking in smoke, taking in food, spending lots of money, grabbing, lots of things, consuming in some ways. It might be more subtle, just the habit of not so subtle worrying, reactivity in the form of anger, anxiety, grabbing something like a dog with a bone and grabbing onto that idea and mulling over it, texting, obsessing about the person out there, longing for somebody that's gone, wishing for a partner, just having a project in life. I mean, all of these can be kind of have a compulsive element to them, like a compulsive flavor, a compulsive tone. It's as if, it comes in and something believes that to be the case. There's no sense of wondering if this is true or not. And that's, before that even occurs to us, it's just not there. So the program that we started last week is called the Eating Peace Process because of the process, a process. And I love noticing that however I'm engaging in something is part of the process. So to notice that I might start and feel confused or like there's too much information or I can't do it, I'm about to fail, is part of a process that I have probably done already in life. Or just that my mind has that attitude. It can be that the flip side of that can be, oh, I'm about to start this program or have this book that I'm about to read or this kind of new idea, which I tend to do a lot. And it's going to give me all kinds of answers. It's going to be amazing. And I'm all like kind of full on diving in. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But if I need an answer because in some way I feel a failure in this position, or that something's just not quite it yet, that endless urge for more that seems like the mind tends to have, or adjustment or safety, then I might feel compulsive about signing up for programs, like we talk about, like it has been said out there, improving the self. Notice how it's all about the self. So let's look at this thought. I'm a failure, I'm behind, inadequacy, shame, don't have what it takes. I'm looking for whatever it is that would take, be able to take it. I want to find something here that feels to be absent. I'm a failure. Is it true? Is it true in the department that you see yourself? The mind might immediately jump in and make all kinds of lists about where you failed. Mine certainly can show me that. Like life is a series of losses and heartbreaks and surprises. Can you know that means you are a failure? You're not succeeding. What happens when we believe that? There's such a strong image of what success looks like. And there's constant comparison. So somebody's doing it like that over there, and it looks better than the way we're doing it over here. They have more. They have more of something over there. So this can't be good enough over here. There goes the hunt. I mean, I just notice this all the time. I'm interested in information. I love to read. I love to listen to things and take them in. That is genuinely something I notice that comes alive for me. But when I'm believing, it's because I need to know something and it's missing. And I'm a failure. I'm a failure because look at the weight. Look at the weight that I am. Look at what I did with food. That was a failure. Is it true? So we can notice the suffering involved in this failing. When I'm believing the thought, I'm a failure. And also the incredible urgency to find the answer and to figure out whatever it would take to succeed. Almost like a competition. I'm going to reach that goal. I'm going to get there. I'm driven. I can't relax. I push on. I press forward. I make lists. I have my schedule planned out. I do whatever it takes. I get new information. I read about that. All of this in an effort to not be a failure, to succeed, to get there. Really like noticing there is no there that ever actually arrives. So even if I get to one level, like in a game, I don't play computer games, but I know what they're like. And, my kids have played them. Get to a game, and then there's a new level, a new version, a different game. It continues. Who would we be without the story? I am a failure. It's possible to fail. What's strange about that as I sit with this in this moment? It's possible to fail. I am a failure. Is seeing it could be that something could come alive that says, yeah, that looks like failure. It looks like that thing didn't work. It looks like that wasn't a green light and didn't continue. My first marriage failed as a marriage. Marriage didn't stay intact. Is that actually true? Because of what it looked like on paper or whatever it is that happened. Is that true? It looked like it was a failure, that in my 20s, I was pretty much my main movement, it seemed like, for being alive was to cure my eating disorder. Just figure out what the hell was going on there. And all my time was spent in healing. And was that a failure? Because I wasn't busy doing other things that I would have preferred to be doing. Can't find that. I can find it actually was amazing what happened there to help lead to other places and other insights and new ideas. I mean, who would we be without the story? There's a way to fail this. And we just looked with more neutral energy at what it is that's happening. So, for example, people in the Eating Peace process or any kind of new program, any one of you listening to this has started a new program before, had taken a class in something, started a book. Who would it be without the story? It's possible to fail this. However I do it is a failed way to do it. Even if you quit, like you buy the book and read 2 pages and stop reading it. Who would you be without the thought? That's failing. Like, are we supposed to read the whole book every time? Is that what the rule is? There's got to be some kind of construct in the mind talking about what success is and that this isn't it. I love the looking at how anyone begins anything offers insight, deep insight into whatever it is that's happening in here around success and failure and right and wrong. Terrified I can do it wrong. Terrified that I am a failure or that I will fail again. Sure that I failed in the past and I have proof of it. Who am I without that story? And even, who am I with the story of failure being all bad, without the story of failure being all bad? Like, let's say, sure, I failed the test. I got an F. I failed the class. And so I got no credit for that class. Can I absolutely know for sure that is a failure? And, in the technical terms of what the setup is for the course, I'm just thinking of a high school class. No credit is offered. Okay. But was that a failure? Because there was always something to learn there. Like, oh, I don't like that subject. It doesn't work for me. I can't find the interest to pursue that. And, oh, I dropped out of college, so I can really find it personally. I failed at going to college. My freshman year, I dropped out. I failed at that time going to college. Who would I be without that story? There was more important things for me to be doing, obviously. I needed to be looking and wondering and seeing a lot more about compulsion. Compulsion was my project and my story and my study. And that wasn't wrong that it was. It just seemed like that's the direction that life needed to go. Now, if I had had the work and been able to see, but some inquiry was already coming in, just like it is for all of us, before we've ever even encountered 4 questions and turnarounds. We are wondering, and there's lots that we're aware we don't know. And can we be comfortable with not knowing? I was doing a lot of thinking and wondering and seeing unknown at the time. Who am I without my story? Who am I without my story? Okay to be heartbroken. And just also okay to see what's working and not working. And maybe the very thing that is happening that I'm then labeling failure is some kind of success. So, for example, several people noticing, like happens often with the eating peace process, is noticing panic and eating more than ever at the very beginning. Because there's a lot of fear about control that's happened in the past. How I solve this problem is I control it. I either control it with an iron fist or willpower, or I just avoid it and make sure I stay away from these things and these conditions and situations. So I avoid and I manage and I control and I'm kind of on alert. And I don't know, I just see my mind going into that's what it does to work with situations. I need to manage them in some way. It's like sort of an autopilot reaction of the mind. And there's a lot of failure in that because there's a lot of sort of tight fisted, a lot of energy that has to go into that. It doesn't feel very natural. I have to be so hyper focused. That's what dieting feels like. Don't forget, remember, just follow your plan. It's okay. But who would we be without the story that success equals management control and failure is, being in chaos and out of control? What if there's another way with that? What if we're looking closely and just letting it be here, this out of control experience of compulsion, and seeing what could it be meaning? What could it be showing me? What might it be inviting me to? What's the message that it has? How can I be curious with this predicament, this situation? What are my true feelings? What am I not wanting to feel? What am I afraid of? These questions and sitting with them and being open to them were the most amazing things I could have ever done in my process of healing from compulsion, and still now. Curiosity, wondering, being willing to be absolutely heartbroken about something that's happening, that has happened. Like maybe in some ways, who I'd be without the thought is acceptance of absolute failure. It has failed. Everything I've tried has failed. And now I'm here in the rubble, surrendered. Who would I be without the story? That's the end. I love that Pema Chodron says this, that with life, life and looking at anything that we tend to have a tendency to do that doesn't seem favorable. This is a work in progress, a process of uncovering our natural openness, uncovering our natural intelligence and warmth. I have discovered, just as my teachers always told me, that we already have what we need. The wisdom, the strength, the confidence, the awakened heart and mind are always accessible, here, now, always. We are just uncovering them. We are rediscovering them. We're not inventing them or importing them from somewhere else. They're here. So that's why when we feel caught in darkness, she goes on, suddenly the clouds can part. And out of nowhere, we cheer up or relax or experience the vastness of our minds. No one else gives this to you. So just to use the process of inquiry and use the process of noticing thoughts. I'm a failure. I have failed at this. And questioning. I mean, something hasn't failed because still here. Still here. Don't have an answer, but something is persistent and here. Wisdom is possible. Who would I be without the story? Just open, letting however it's been. There is no behind. There is no I'm ahead. There just is what is today, right now. Reflection, noticing, aware of what's happened in the past, predicting what will happen in the future, just being here with all of our feelings, all of the heart open. There really is no possibility to fail, or even if that helps to look at it that way, is pure failure. Now what? Oh, I failed at doing it the way I thought I was supposed to do it. I failed that way. Good. Now let's see what happens with the don't know mind. Mind cannot solve this problem. So who am I? Who am I? Allowing compulsion to be the thing that helps us move into something new. Letting that compulsion be here, be present as a messenger, as something that's trying to get my attention. And that is very good news. All right. Let me know how it goes. Lots of love.